Hey,
Okay, are we set to go? Hi, I'm Melanie Ting, and I'm hosting tonight. And I'm here with Stacy, Kelly, Fortune. Unfortunately, Danica could not be here tonight. She has some personal things to take care of. So we are coming up to American Thanksgiving next week. Stacy just told me because I never could remember. So American Thanksgiving is the date when they say it gives you a good indication of if your team is going to make the playoffs. So whose predictions are trending correctly right now? Is your team in the playoffs and did you say they would be?
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot what
Stacy?
I said.
I don't even know where they're standing right now. I have not paid attention to that.
You must be in the playoffs. Winnipeg must be.
I don't know. They have not really been playing that great.
Yeah.
Rangers are absolutely not.
Not in.
There are a whole bunch of conversations. People have said we could make the playoffs, but we are not a playoff team. I think it was Johnny Lazarus who talked about this last night, who's like in the wake of last night's yet another disastrous loss.
Sorry about that.
We are just not a playoff team.
Yeah. And I think like from the clip that Kelly made where I forced you to predict, you did say that they
Yep,
were going to make the playoffs.
I did, and under duress because who knows?
You can blame me.
Like, no, because like the thing is, like the Rangers, you never know with the Rangers. They play like New York weather. If you don't like what's happening, wait a minute. One hopes. You never know how disastrous, how good they're going to be. All you know is like you're in for a roller coaster ride.
Well, I guess the good news is that Anaheim's doing really well. So Truba and Kreider, your former
Yes.
Rangers, are having a great time there. So
Yeah, no, it's
Right,
awesome.
yeah.
right.
So Fortune, what did you predict? Did you predict the Flames
I
to
can't, I did predict, I can't remember what I predicted.
win?
But the big news lately is that the Flames were at the very bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Now like 31 or 30, what I don't even know how many teams there are, but I was like, oh,
I think
okay.
they're 30. I think they're 32 out of 32.
Well, I mean, they're winning, I guess. They're winning it, what do you call it? Draft lottery.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
with their luck, they'll probably still pick 10th or something.
it could mean like some trades too. I guess there's a lot of teams looking for players. So if you're a seller, it's probably a good time to be in the seller's market, which I sort of hope. And Kelly just went to the game today, so she just got back just in time, like five
Just in time.
5 minutes before we were coming on.
Yeah, that's okay. It was, I mean, it's always fun to go to a game, but they sure did not play well. I don't know
Um,
what was going on. The first period looked okay, but after that was not good. And then we lost one of our defensemen with a lower body injury, and then Morrissey got hit in the face and had to leave, I guess, for stitches or something. Oh, and we don't have our regular goalie, and we won't have him for 4 to 6 weeks.
yeah, that's the big news, I guess, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know.
I thought you were going to cry there.
I could cry.
No. Connor, please. Now, I heard somebody saying that they thought he was having the surgery now, so he'd be okay for the Olympics. Do you think that's true?
Yes, well, I suspect that was probably part of what factored into the decision to do it now. And plus, I mean, obviously you want to do it before playoffs, before the Olympics.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
do it
So
now. And
ready, but then he'll be ready for the playoffs, which you were apparently going to make. And I
uh,
think, and so as for me, I said the Canucks would not be in the playoffs. So they are currently not in the playoffs. And
Winnipeg's not in a playoff spot right now.
oh, they're not. Oh, I'm so surprised. They've always been so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so none of us are in the playoffs. I don't think Danica's team is either. Okay, should be easy for us in
Uh,
March or April whenever we do the review. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a book that three of us have read, and Stacy hasn't had a chance yet. And this book is, oops, I hate doing this. We Breed Lions by Rick Westhead. I can't read the whole thing. It's so what I'm going to do is give you a quick summary of the book for Stacey and for anyone listening who hasn't, should I call them listeners or viewers? What do we call our people?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Our audience. So anyone
The
in
audience.
our audience who has
I
not
mean,
read the book. So if you don't know already, Rick Westhead is a respected journalist who covers the field of sports. And I think we would distinguish him from people who just cover the game, you know, maybe talk to players. And because he does talk about that too, how difficult it is to criticize hockey, because then they start to deny you access. So if you cover the team and you're always critical of the team, then at some point you might not get to be in with the team and do your story. So there's sort of a push-pull relationship between sports and sports reporters. But he came, I think he started in sports, but he did worked internationally as a journalist. So the book is bookended by the story that we have covered here on the live stream a few times of EM, the woman who was allegedly sexually assaulted in a London hotel room by members of the Canadian junior hockey team, London, Ontario. And he's the one that broke the story. He got a tip when he was in Europe that he needed to go to London and look up this case. So he was the one that found out about it first. So that's the starting point. And what he does in the book is he basically highlights a lot of the problems in hockey that are endemic to the system that have caused kind of the attitude and the entitlement. So he talks about the problems of sexual assault. He talks about bullying, initiation rights. He talks about also sex abuse of players by coaches, trainers, people in positions of power over them. He talks about issues with concussion and racism, and he goes into quite a bit of detail. Now, if you're well read about hockey, as a lot of people who in our audience are, you've probably heard about these things before, but I think the reason he felt it important to reiterate it was he wanted to show all the times that these things had happened, that cases like EM's had happened, and everyone said, oh, you know, that's not good, things need to change. But then he goes into how all these things have happened over and over again and nothing has ever changed because there's things built into the system that are causing this thing. There's, I think he says, so attitudes would be the fact that hockey players are real teammates. So they feel that it's wrong for them to say anything about, even if somebody's done something wrong, they're kind of breaking the code. If they say, oh yeah, this guy did this or did that. I mean, he does get into the trial, the fact that the players that were there but not charged couldn't remember anything. They had sent text messages or they had seen things, but when it came to the courtroom, they said, I can't remember that. And, you know, these are guys in their early 20s. There's no reason for them to have severe memory loss.
I mean, if you're in a hotel room with a naked woman all the time, it might all kind of blur together. But you would think you would remember something like that.
You do think, yeah, something like that would happen. And even when confronted with text message they had sent, they said they didn't remember seeing that. So he sort of indicts the whole junior hockey system in Canada and the evolution of minor hockey into sort of a for-profit business that's kind of corrupt as well. And he talks about the fact that from a very early age, players are courted by agents, you know, even when you're like 14 or so. And it's the production of people that are very egotistical. They feel very entitled. They feel like they're owed all these things. And then I guess the other thing about the junior hockey that I didn't mention was that when kids go with 14 to 16 years old and they have to leave home, they go into this environment, and then there's these older guys, the overage juniors who are in their 20s, and basically they've found out they're not going to make the NHL, so they're pretty dissatisfied, unhappy, and then these young players often get bullied by the older players and forced to act in a certain way and forced to be highly sexual even if they don't want to be And then the sort of the attitudes towards women that are introduced that them are very, women are seen like scores or seen like objects, not human, and there doesn't seem to be any counter to this. And then over and over, when these things are brought up, there's a refusal of those in charge, the hockey management, to acknowledge problems, or they just say it's a few bad apples and they won't acknowledge that these things have happened or that there's anything they could do about it. They say, oh, this just happens in society. So that's basically a quick summary, and then he ends it with the case again and what happened, which we know in the case. He does try and end on a positive note. He talks about a few things that counter these things. He goes to Sweden to see what their junior hockey system is like, and it's pretty amazing because basically the clubs, they don't draft people, they just sort of court them. So they say, if you come to us, you'll get this kind of schooling, you'll live in this place, you'll get this playing time, you'll get this coaching. But often kids decide that they would like to stay at home and play junior hockey. And because there's hockey teams, they get to stay there. And it seems really nice that way. He also talks about an Australian man who's working with the Peterborough Petes, educating people about respecting women, about what's legal, about not bullying people. And he's not like a hockey player. He's just done this. And there's a program called about educating boys into men, which is working with sports teams as well, just around attitudes and being a better person. So anyway, that's my summary. And I'd just like to sort of throw it open and ask, maybe I'll start with you, Kelly, what struck you most about the book? Was there anything that shocked you, or is there anything that you found really interesting?
There were definitely things that shocked me. A full disclosure, I haven't finished reading it. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I was just pulling it up on my computer to look at my notes, so to remind myself if there's things that I want to say, and I've got like so many notes that there's no way I can like even talk about all of them. But as you said, I think we've talked a lot about that particular case, and I think and previously I've mentioned that I had written a book that was kind of about sexual assault in the hockey world, and I had done a bunch of research at that time. And I wrote that book before the EM case, and I knew that there was all kinds of things like that go on. So that part doesn't shock me. I mean, I don't like it, but it doesn't shock me. And before I say too much more, the one thing I want to repeat is that I love his quote where he says, two things can be true at the same time. You can love the sport and at the same time want it to be better. Because I think part of the problem is that you can't criticize hockey here. And that's been part of the systemic issue too, that's led to these problems, nothing changing. So I just want to say, like, I love hockey and I still love hockey. I still love the sport, but reading some of these things was really painful, and definitely at the same time, changes need to happen. So some of the most shocking things that in that book were the stories about hazing and the bullying that went on between team members, where quite often the veteran players will be hazing the rookies. And I mean, we all know in sports that there's always some kind of initiation rites, and we've heard about hazing, but some of the specifics of the things that players told him about, I mean, I was ready to cry.
Yeah,
When I think of these are like teenage boys going through that stuff.
Yeah. They're just
some
boys.
of them literally have PTSD from it. Like, that's not what hockey's supposed to be about. So those kinds of things were shocking to me. And also something that I didn't realize was how, as you mentioned, Mel, that junior hockey has become so profitized, business turned into a business. And there's a lot of financial corruption where people are buying like AA, AAA teams so that their kid can play on that team. Like, and then they sell it a few years later and they make a ton of money off of it. And I mean, it's always a case of follow the money in a lot of problems, right? So why are they going to be interested in any change when, there's money involved for them? So that's
Totally. And I think that one thing that I took out of the book was that the players as well were being commodified. I mean, they
yes,
protect them because they're valuable to them. They say, okay, you go through, you make the NHL, or my parents have put all this money. So they're protecting the players from any consequences of their behavior. So, really, and it's really horrible. And the same with concussions, like you're just like kind of a
right.
widget to them. And we've kind of seen it in the season where it's compressed and the players are getting injured. And yet, there's no time to rest. It's just game. We have to cram all the games in because heaven forbid that the owners not get every penny, that they usually get, even though it's an Olympic year. So, what about you, Fortune? What did something shock you in the book?
There are quite a few things. Like I grew up in Calgary, like same as you guys. We were like hockey cities, around hockey a lot. Grew up with hockey players, but there was other things that I didn't realize. Like to some extent, yeah, like when you're 16 and you're going to play with guys that are 20, they seem like they're 100, like very much older than you. Especially at that age, because like a high school kid versus like just body type versus somebody who's 20, 21, 22, like they're going to be boys and men like
Yeah.
very easily. And then the other thing is the so yeah, the players are being commodified, um and then being young, like it's like your entire family or town's hopes and dreams are like pinned on you. So there's like that as well. So you don't want to be ostracized, especially um, you know, a lot of the hockey. Oh my God. And then also the amount of money to put in hockey. Like they were saying something in Ontario that annual fees were like $80,000 a year. And then for the younger one who was like 6, it was like 12,000. Like that's
Yeah,
insanity.
that's
Um,
insane.
That's
yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah. And then
absolutely.
you're not getting all the players then because obviously people can't afford that. You got
Oh yeah. And then just the names associated with them, like it's Zach Hyman's dad who had 4 boys who could afford to buy teams for all of his kids. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of like this like sexual assault aside, there was so like almost every page was like shocking to me. And I can't even imagine what it would have been like to read something like this as somebody who didn't grow up around hockey,
Mhm.
Like, yeah. But I do see like the one thing about the few bad apples, and then I found the other, like it just seemed like a big excuse was that, oh, it's something that's happening everywhere. Um, but that's also not a good excuse.
Yeah.
And also the number of studies that were done that were referenced in the book, like 35 years ago in the 90s, um, which is like insanity. Oh, and then there's one story, I think it was right at the beginning of the book. I can't remember. I think it was uh, a a Vancouver Canuck who said he's on so many painkillers that it like wrecked his stomach.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't remember what player it was, but even today he'll still be crawling up stairs some
I think it
days.
was Ryan Kessler,
Yeah,
actually.
and
Yes.
like
Yeah.
yeah, and he's
Who was
like he's not,
discharged last week with assault, sexual assault.
yeah, but like he's not 50 yet. He can't be. Like he must, you know what I mean? Like
No.
no, like not even close. So those are the things that are shocking to me. Um the other things, the things that seem so like banal, um that they're going through even after their hockey careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
There was one player who said he never even tells anyone he played hockey because he just doesn't want to be associated with the hockey culture.
Yeah, and there's one like close to the end of the book, I can't remember, somebody was saying that he didn't want to play hockey, like he would consider like punching his fist into the ground to break his hand so he wouldn't have to go play.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that,
one of the
yeah.
players that was playing.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of these um, And when he was interviewing these players, it was interesting because a lot of their parents, it was the first time they heard any of these things because they
Yeah,
had
and I think
sort of kept it to themselves.
that's part of the other issue. I think we've just like we're in such a culture where it seems like the parents are so involved
Yeah.
that it probably does make people like a Sheldon Kennedy a lot more vulnerable, you know? Like, oh, you know, your parents are always away and all their parents are here. Like it might even make them more vulnerable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also said that at the beginning of the book, he thought this was a watershed moment. I guess he thought with the trial and everything. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard of any changes. And I did wonder, okay, I'm just going to throw this out. Maybe I'll ask you, Stacey, what would you think? Do you think it would be effective if the NHL took action? If they said, okay, I understand you're charged. I understand you got off, but what you did was wrong. So we're going to have a morals clause and not have you play. Like if they didn't rush to sign any of the players involved as Vegas
So,
has.
so there are two things I was thinking about. Oh, sorry. The first of which, like as you're talking about the money in the game, there was actually recently Chris Murphy, who is a senator from Connecticut, recently told either got to the news or somewhere where he talked about how he was at his kid's hockey game and he stood up to take video and they told him to sit down. And the reason they told him to sit down was that the video rights were owned by a firm, not exactly private equity, but like, yeah. So the commodification is starting at that young age in the United States.
How old is his? How old was his son?
Like they're young. I'll find more specifics of the article, but like as you guys were talking about this aspect of it, I was like, that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
The second thing I thought of was someone was going to sign in Carolina.
Mhm.
One of the players involved in this case was going to sign in Carolina. They were going to sign him. And there was a rather large outcry and letter writing campaign that basically had
Season ticket
Carolina GM
holders.
saying no. And he didn't end up signing there. And then you were talking earlier about how if you criticize the game, you lose your credentials. And how in the very early stages, one of the regular Vegas beat reporters questioned whether Vegas was going to sign the player that they did, and he got his credentials taken away.
Mhm.
Yes, that's right.
I mean,
So-
like in some ways, I think it would be good if they started punishing them because they
Yes.
did, you know, just because you aren't found guilty in a court, you
Doesn't
admitted
mean-
you did this thing, which was
Yep.
Well,
horrible.
that was a
Reprehensible.
theme. One of the themes that runs through the book is
Yeah.
how there's a lack of consequences for these players who do anything. Like girls have reported sexual assault, nothing happens. You know, somebody tells the team management about the hazing and the bullying, nothing happens. Like there's no consequences for them,
Yeah.
and that is obviously not going to stop anything.
Yeah.
Oh no. And
But
then
then
there's
I
sorry.
did think if the NHL did something, would it go
Yes.
even further under?
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Then
yes.
people would lie and cheat
Right.
because they would not want to be punished by the NHL. So I wondered if that would make things worse. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, were you feeling optimistic? I guess I'll ask Fortune because maybe he's more optimistic at the end, Kelly, than he is.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that the book ends a little bit optimistically. So I'm like ready for that.
It does end optimistically. I think like another through line through the book was even though there wasn't anything happening that you still have to have the hope that it can change, because I think if it doesn't, either like no one's gonna watch hockey anymore or it just gets worse, you know? So I did like the optimist take about it. And then again, discussing the book with some of the guys at my office who play hockey, they're like, you can't deny like all the good things that it does, but yeah, there definitely has to be change. So like I said in the book, they did, I don't know if you guys got to the part where they're comparing European hockey players with North American ones, and a lot of the European players just didn't understand how like the culture is so different, and it's very Canadian.
Yeah.
Like it's tied intrinsically with the social fabric of the country.
Yeah.
That was a very good like through line, how, like you can like you shouldn't just take it at face value. Like if you really care about something and want it and it does all this good, then you should try to make it better. Yeah, I don't know.
But he did.
I
I
think
think he
It makes
did
me
say
very
that.
conflicted about hockey.
It's true, and I think um, that affects us a lot because he did criticize when you wrap it up in the flag all the time and say it's part of Canadian culture. Then
yes.
that is what people say. Oh, now we can't change it because it's part of the Canadian culture. But what you
When you
said
criticize
reminded
it, you're
me,
not. Yeah.
yeah, of that scene. The scene that made me want to cry the most was that. I'm not going to go into the details, but the sort of European player at a party, and he's crying and he's saying, I have a girlfriend. Why is this happening to me? Like, and I thought, oh my God, we're so horrible. These people come over here to play hockey and we're like
Right.
bullying them into our horrible culture. So anyway.
One thing he pointed out was like the difference between the NHL and junior hockey is that the NHL players have a union that
Mhm.
advocates for them, and junior hockey does not. So,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a possible solution or part of a solution.
Yeah.
And they could probably like it could go one step further and like because they comparing it to the NCAA in the US, it's the same thing. Where the players are commodities, and they're making money for people. So
Mhm.
that I understand. And he touched on it, but just kind of talking about how there's no players union for the junior hockey players because they're not technically working as well. They
Right.
are student players.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing I don't think any of us have mentioned are like those backdoor deals that like, oh, if you come play with my team, we'll give your like full open secrets about, yeah, we paid them 250,000 or whatever. That's totally made up number, so don't look that up. But yeah. But yeah, that was very surprising to me as well. Like I said, I like every page my jaw dropped. So
Mhm. Mhm.
and like Rick Westhead isn't super familiar to me, but Stephen Brunt wrote the foreword, and he's somebody out of Calgary that I read a lot about. So
That
yeah.
forward made my jaw drop.
Oh
When
yeah.
who was it? Kevin Lowe was criticizing him
Kevin
with
Lowe.
Westhead,
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, well, he must have been cut from some hockey team or something." Like he's just
Yeah.
telling the truth, and if you can't even listen to that, I don't even know.
Right. That's just a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Oilers are also like they were one of those teams where the front office was full of players until there was no players left to have in the office. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was trying to keep on to a legacy, I think, of the winning Oilers.
Yeah,
So,
they finally took that sign down. They finally took the home of the champions sign
did
down.
they?
You come in. I don't know what it is now.
Okay,
But
so
like very recently, like in the past 2 years.
as hockey romance authors, will this affect your books in the future? So Kelly's already written about this. I've written about this in a yet to be published book as well. And we've talked about this before. You're glorifying people who we've already established are egotistical and entitled, and we're making them sound even better. I don't know. Will it affect your future writing, Kelly?
I think it will. I'm not exactly sure how. Like we've talked in the past too about how our hockey romances are kind of more aspirational with, how we present hockey players and the culture in hockey. So I'm not sure if do I want to lean in more to the aspirational thing and try to write about guys that are really good guys that get this stuff, that
Yeah.
don't dehumanize women. I mean, I don't write anybody that dehumanizes women anyway, but do I want to lean into that more? Or do you want to try and bring in some of the real world to try to address that I mean, nobody wants to read a romance that's going to be all dark and heavy. Well, I shouldn't say that. People do want to read those, but you know what I mean. I mean, there's a line there, and I don't know which way I would go.
Mhm. What about you, Stacy?
I mean, I've already I haven't written a book about dealing with sexual assault, but what I have done is I wrote a book sort of partially inspired by conversations about diversity in hockey, about how a player created an association to allow his religious minority and his culture to be better represented, not only um in the sport, but also in situations like in billeting, where players, in junior hockey go elsewhere, as we were talking about earlier. We have already had conversations in Romance Landia over many years about how consent is sexy, about how it is like fundamentally important to have those conversations in the context of books. And that's how I'm going to lean into it, having those conversations about consent, creating situations where power imbalances are discussed and dealt with. That's how I see myself doing it. It's kind of, and integrate whatever issues that I want to talk about into the plot. So
Mhm. What about you, Fortune? Do you think it'll make a difference to hockey heroes that you might write in the future?
Well, the thing is, like, I don't understand how I ended up in hockey romance, because my my one hockey player had a 3-book arc, because he suffered from CTE and not making it to the big leagues. So I feel like I'm already there, but if everybody wants to come too, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Because I do, like, I love romance novels, don't get me wrong, but yeah, like, to me, people are just so deep um and the dark parts are the parts that make them soft. So I don't know. I also love the second chance romance. So I don't know if that says anything about
Well,
every.
an arc could be a good thing, like a character arc or somebody. Although it's pretty hard to
What about you, Mel?
fix that. I've been dealing with it with this book that I've written that I haven't finished yet. And it's been hard because I have felt guilty a lot of times. And I think you do sometimes what I do in books is you have sort of an us and them. So your hero is one kind of person, but he can see that other guys on the team are different than him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's how you distance it and show. But I mean, there's lots of hockey heroes that I think, well, that's ridiculous. Like, they love whatever literature they read all the time, or, I think, oh, that would never be, because I feel like it gets hammered out of them. And you can see why there's a lot of conformity in junior hockey, clearly. So. Anyway, so the book is We Breed Lions, Confronting Canada's Troubled Hockey Culture by Rick Westhead. So I think I would recommend it to people to read. That it tells you a lot about this sort of hockey, I don't know, what would you call it, industry almost, where they're creating.
Yeah.
And what's the name of your book, Kelly, that deals with that issue?
Oh, Shut Out.
Shut Out. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so shut out. Okay. So now we're going to move on to something quite different. We're going to talk about a new TV series that's coming up. It's going to be on Crave in Canada, and it's going to be on HBO Max in the United States and Australia, and that is called Heated Rivalry. It is based on a book by a Canadian author, Rachel Reed. It is a romance, a hockey romance between two players. Have we all read the book?
I have.
I've read it. Okay.
It's waiting for me at the library.
It is famous. Like before I read
Yeah.
it, everyone was always raving about this. Like, have you
I
read
was
this?
like, that was one of the, I
Yeah.
resisted reading it for a long time because of all the hype around it.
I
Oh,
know
can't be
people were
that
like,
good.
the book that
Yeah.
got me into hockey romance, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know that the male hockey romance fandom is strong. They have very opinionated and it's pretty interesting. So this book is going to be I think what a 6 or 8 parts series. And so I was reading some background on it, and it's been directed by Jacob Tierney, who we know here because he does Shoresy
Leonard Kenny and
and
Shoresy.
Letterkenny. Yeah, so he's right into the culture. He's also an actor on that show, and it's pretty funny because in the article I read, he was inspired by the same newspaper article that we read in the Washington Post, where it was saying how big hockey romance is, and I guess it was during the pandemic, and he was like, oh, you know what book I'd really like to produce would be that one. And he connected with Rachel on Instagram. So there you go, hockey romance authors.
Yeah.
Make it happen. A producer will get in touch with you. And he was a fan of the books, and he has tried to be very faithful to them. So in the article, he said when he cast the actors, he said, you have to be comfortable because there's going to be 3 sex scenes in a show. So basically, Kelly, I think, said when we talked about this book before, there's so much sex in it, and he has kept it intact, as we say. So he's
Yeah.
to
I
stay.
was wondering, how are they going to deal with that in a TV show?
HBO.
Yeah.
HBO. That's how they dealt with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
HBO or Crave, I guess, apparently.
Yeah.
So, but he said he did not get any resistance. He thought that Crave would say, you know, what are you doing, Jacob? It's quite a lot. But basically, they're hockey players. They're very physical. This is how they come together. Now, when I read the book, I felt that the characters were maybe inspired by Ovechkin and Crosby, because one's
Yes.
sort of like devil may care, relaxed and happy, and the other like is so intense and a good person. And
Yeah.
so that's what, although he is in the book half Japanese, which I, of course, am like, oh, Japanese. So anyway, so I think he is the same in the series. The actor is
Yeah.
half Asian that they cast. So what are we thinking? What do you think, Kelly? Excited about
I
that?
am excited. I am excited. I'm always excited if a hockey romance is being made into a TV show or movies, like Al Kennedy's stuff that's coming out next year. I think I'm super excited about that too. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I love the book. Well, in the end, I did love it. It took me a while, as I said. The first part of the book is a lot of sex, but you're right. That's how they communicated, was through sex, because these are men who don't want to talk about their feelings, and they're very um, closeted in the NHL.
Mhm.
And I really appreciated how in that book that the she dealt with the realities of being a gay player in the NHL. Like there's a lot of male romance that just glosses over it and just makes these guys, they're out, they're gay, they're proud, and nobody has any problems with it, which is absolutely not reality. It's nice. It's nice to read in a romance story, a fantasy, but that's not the real world. And she really dealt with the real world. And even at the end of Heated Rivalry, okay, no spoilers, never mind.
No, it's true because I think Rachel Reed is a hockey fan and
Yeah, yeah,
really knows the game. So that's good because I agree because sometimes everything's okay and there's no problem and they don't get any issues or bullying or anything, which
yeah,
is realistic. So,
Mhm.
but then on the other hand, it's really strong in MM because the thing keeping them apart is that they play hockey and they're in this.
yes, exactly, yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah. And so, Stacey, I think you were the one that announced in our group chat that it was going to be in the US. So I guess you're
Yep.
excited to watch it too.
I am very excited. I have seen a lot of the trailers, a lot of the information, hence the fact that the book is waiting for me at the library. I, saw the journalist from the Washington Post excited that it was her article that inspired Jacob Tierney to do this. I'm just excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what it's like. I'm excited to see like what the series looks like and how it's treated. Um, And of course, I will be spending the day before my birthday watching the first
Oh.
couple of episodes. But no, I'm really excited to see how it goes, because this is the first hockey romance that's been adapted.
Yes, because we've definitely seen
So
like movies with hockey heroes before, but never from an author that knows hockey or that was
Yeah.
originally a
Yeah.
hockey
so
romance.
this
So
is
as Kelly
so I'm,
said, the off campus is coming, but this one's
yeah.
first. So
So
yeah.
I'm excited to see like what that does and like what doors that opens and sort of like and who comes next. So I'm excited to see what it is for itself, but also sort of how it literally quote unquote changes the game for hockey romance and its
Yeah.
and its status in terms of like what it, where we can go, as it were.
With the event.
Um
Yeah.
so
Well, it was interesting to hear that Jacob Tierney, as a gay man, said, of course, gay guys are going to watch this. We have a show like this, so I'll watch it. But he said there's a huge female audience.
Yeah.
So obviously
oh yeah.
people that love these books and read these books. Do you
Also,
have Prey, Fortune? Are you going to be able to watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch it. So I don't know anything going into this at all, and I don't believe I know any gay male couples that play hockey in Canada. So my brain is thinking like when I think Letterkenny and Shoresy, I'm thinking like there's just going to be like these two guys, and not that they can't speak eloquently to each other about their love, but they're probably like, duh, but do you know what I mean? And then it's just like, I love you, man. Like
Yeah,
that's
those two
that's what
guys in
I'm
Letterkenny.
picturing. Um,
Yeah.
in the accent
yeah,
from
just like their love language is like picking up the other guy's hockey gear off the fucking floor or something. Like, I feel like it's gonna be very hockey, but very also gay.
The two guys in Letterkenny, their love
I know.
language,
I'm
crossing
like I
swords
think it's
if
gonna
they
be
had the
great.
same girl.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Okay. Well, that's great. Now, does anyone have a favorite hockey romance that I think Stacy does that they would like to recommend?
So I absolutely adore Ari Baran. Their most recent book is Goaltender Interference. They love the Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers. And if you follow them on Instagram, you will see like the sort of depth of fandom. It's kind of amazing, and what they bring to their books. It's kind of amazing reading them. Also, yeah, no, they are fantastic.
What do you
And
like about them?
um I love like the mix of emotion and hockey kind of all in the same place. And I love sort of how deep their writing goes. Um, Very much like, how do I describe this? Like, I'm not a baseball fan, but I love Katie Casey's books and the way that Katie Casey's books like kind of go into the inner life of the players in a very particular way. And I feel like Ari Baran's books scratch that very same itch when it comes to hockey, if that makes sense. Like there's a very particular sort of writing style that they have, and it's amazing. So
Anyone else have that they'd
I
like
do
to?
not.
Okay, I know. I did. Sorry, I just threw that question out without warning. So there you go. Okay. And then next, I think we are going on to the best dressed. And, Danica said this, and I totally agree. It's hard to find best dressed now that the NHL has gone casual. I would say, like, on the Canucks, there's like 3 players who know how to dress, like 3 out of the whole team.
Damn.
Seeing that. So you have the graphic, Kelly?
No, who did she send the graphic to?
Oh,
she put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
But I can get it if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll move on to the wildest things, and then you can go back to the
Okay.
best dress when
All right.
we're looking. So for the wildest things, Stacy, you said
Yes, I did.
PWHL, right?
Yeah, but before I do that, I just want to very, very briefly mention we were talking about reporters, we're talking about respected journalists. In the last couple of weeks, one of the respected journalists, the one in the New York hockey media landscape, passed away after a brief battle of cancer. May Larry Brooks's memory be a blessing. Um, anyway, um, so yeah, last night, the PWHL New York Sirens played their first game of the season, and Taylor Gerard scored the first natural hat trick in Sirens history. Um, it was in the third period. Um, as I made the mistake personally of switching over to the Ranger game as they collapsed in the third period, the Sirens blossomed in the third period and scored a whole bunch of goals. And one
So
of
let that be a lesson to you. Never leave the
exactly
PWHL game.
finish the PW exactly finish the PWHL before you switch over to the NHL. But yes, so but yeah, so in that third period where the Sirens blossomed, Taylor Gerard scored 3 goals, and the team won 4-0 over the Ottawa Charge in their very first game. So
Wow.
of the
Okay,
season.
well, that's good. Fortune, I don't, you said something about the Bruins?
Yeah, I was just looking at my note that says booing overtime / maybe the Bruins menu, and I had to remember that those are two completely different things.
Oh, I didn't know what it was. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw at a game the other night, St. Louis and Boston, Toronto, somebody. Anyway, but the game went into overtime, and then the fans were booing the overtime because it was just so boring that they would just like, it's a 3-on-3, and then like maybe you shoot it in or maybe you come back around, and so they're just booing the overtime, which is wild if you're a hockey fan, because you know the reason they took an extra player off the ice during overtime was to make it a faster game. Um, so yay, wild. And then the other thing is the Boston Bruins they have a team chef. They have 2 team chefs that make all their food on game days. So they make the breakfast and their snacks and their lunch, and then even make them food to take home, like before the game, so that they have food to eat before they show up. And I just thought it was really neat. That's a nice way to like support your team's health, I guess. Um,
I think
because,
a lot of teams do that actually.
oh, they don't just like go to there used to be an Italian place. I want to call it Spagucci's, but it wasn't, in Alberta. But that's where the hockey players would go eat, just like big giant, like the actual, you know, carving up before the game. Like I don't feel like Jerome McGinley was playing like a million years ago. He was just playing, and he definitely went and picked up pasta from the pasta place to eat before a game. Um, but I didn't. The thing that I found the most craziest is that on game days at dinner or something, they have to eat like 90. I can't remember if it was 90 grams of protein. It must have been like 90 pounds of protein for like the team.
Oh my
And
God.
it's just like, yeah. And that's on a game day. That's like a game day, like pre-dinner. And they had to have like 40 pounds at like lunch. Like the whole thing is insane. Um, but Mel just popped my bubble that other teams,
Sorry.
that all the
I thought it
teams.
was just the Boston Bruins. But yes, I'm sure they do it better. But no, I did hear older players complaining that the younger players don't want to go out and eat like they did in the old days. That younger players want to go back to their room, I guess, have
Yeah.
room service and
Video
eat
games.
or
Yeah.
something, be on their phones or whatever. And they're like, "What about the days when we all went out to eat?" So anyway, are you good now, Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first though, tell me about the Sharks.
The Sharks. Okay. So this is my wildest thing is the Sharks have a new win celebration, which lots of teams do. Like the Jets, after they win, they exchange a jacket, or I think a couple of jackets in the dressing room, and other teams have different routines. So the Sharks have a new one, which was described by Ryan Reeves. They said that he wanted to get a shark tooth necklace for them to pass around after a win. So he got this shark tooth necklace, which I don't know where it came from, but apparently it took a long time to get made. It's big. But he says, so this is their new win tradition, is that they'll wear the necklace, but you got to wear it no tarp
Yeah, I
for
saw
the
that.
interview
Tarp's
after.
off.
So that means no
I think
shirtless.
Celebrini had it first, eh?
That's my
Yeah.
thing. So then the first one that gets it is Macklin Celebrini, and he takes off his shirt and puts on the shark necklace. And I'm like, he didn't look totally comfortable doing it. And I'm like, is every player going to really do this? Or like, what are the chances that that was just a prank to get Macklin Celebrini to take off his shirt in front of the TV cameras? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how, if every player does it.
Well, if
Oh
the
my
next person
gosh.
is Will Smith, I bet they'll make him do it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
geez.
Well,
I
because
feel like
like
the joke can
Ryan
probably
Reeves
be
would take his
avoided.
shirt off. Ryan,
He did. He took his shirt off, and he has a fine six-pack, I may say.
yeah. But is he ever going to get the necklace though?
Yeah, well,
It's like nobody's gonna want it. They just start playing bad.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to take my shirt off. I don't want to be.
Don't want to-
Okay. And my thing is the Vancouver Golden Eyes, who are the new women's team here in Vancouver. And I got to say, I've always felt guilty that I haven't watched more women's games. But now that we have a team here and I can watch it on TV, I'm pretty excited.
yeah.
But what I really love, well, I loved a lot of things. First of all, a sellout, 15,000 people, the biggest audience a sellout ever, I think, for the Women's Hockey League. And I was amazed at how many people were at the game. So the entire team, the Vancouver Rise, who are a female soccer team here and just won their championship, they were there. Some of the Canucks were there. Nathan Rourke, the quarterback of the BC Lions, was there. There was I didn't even know there was a Vancouver basketball team, I have to say. They were there. I think it was Henrik Sedin was there as well. One of the Sedins, anyway, I still can't tell. But it was just so cool. And the other thing I thought was really interesting is on Blue Sky, I follow a lot of Canucks fans and writers, and I was interested in how many of them were right into switching to cheer about the Golden Eyes, watch to either attend the game. And when you saw the audience there, the audience was so interesting. There were so many young girls. There was like, older women together at a game. And I just sort of thought, well, maybe, in a city like Vancouver, who people are pretty frustrated with the owner of the Vancouver Canucks, and they do love hockey. So just sort of tying it into the Rick Westhead book, maybe it's like an alternative for people that love hockey. And in my new book that I'm writing right now, I have the heroine is a female hockey player, college hockey player. And I was just inspired by how enthusiastic the PWHL women were about doing promos and pranking. Like they're loving the game. They seem to have an honest love for the game and they're not egotistical. Oops, are we frozen here? Yeah. So all the things we said, you feel entitled and egotistical. These women are like, yes, we're good, but we're so happy to have a chance to play this game that we really love. And that is like the spirit of hockey to me. So maybe, that's another way you can start to put pressure on teams to behave better by giving them alternatives that would like to see. So hopefully. Yeah. Okay, so the best dressed.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to go first? Up here, top left.
It's sort of my screen is frozen, sorry.
Oh,
so
no.
I can see it. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, it's probably my computer. Am I
I don't know.
frozen?
It seems to be breaking up a little bit.
Let me X out and try again.
Okay. Here we go. Great. Okay, so I think that's Stacy on the top left, is it? Oh no, it's not.
That
was
is
Danica.
I can talk about her though. That
Okay,
is
talk about her.
that is Danica's pick.
Oh, yeah.
That is Mariah Keppel from the Seattle Torrent.
Uh-huh.
Seattle's brand new expansion team. Mariah Keppel has been playing in the PWHL for the last couple of years. She played for Boston, and I think she played for Ottawa too. My memory is weird, but basically, like one of the things about Mariah Keppel is that she is also a fashion designer. She has her own label, and You were talking, Mel, about how the PWHL players were involved in promotion. I actually, for the first time, I saw on TikTok an ad with her and one of the other players from the Torrent for TJ Maxx, which was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. And she was talking about fashion. So it makes sense that Danica would pick her because her outfits have always been sort of um on the cutting edge of fashion, as it were. And I love that dress. I'm trying to see if it's a dress or a like a romper, but it's whatever it is, it's gorgeous. I love the colors on her. So
It's beautiful.
That is really nice outfit she's got on.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess moving to the other top side, that is my fave, Kiefer Sherwood. And so a few of the Canucks players did wear Vancouver Golden Eyes jerseys on the night,
Cool.
I guess the night before their first game to support them. Not everybody, but anyway, so yay, that was good. And then the next one, let's go below that. So staying on our PWHL theme.
all
And
right.
this is Stacy's pick.
Yeah, that is me. So we've got two players, but I want to focus on the woman wearing the pink hat. The pink hat, that is Elle Harcha. She is a forward, former Yale captain. She is playing in her second season with the PWHL Siren, with the New York, with the Sirens. She actually got an assist last night. But one of the things I love about her is that she's kind of daring. Like if you notice, like a lot of the players, when you're talking about like they're much more conservative in terms of their style, like they have a lot of style, but they're much more conservative. And then you see Elle, and there she is, like unapologetic. There she is, the pink beanie, the black top and the skirt and the boots with the Prada bag. She is just, and it's wonderful to see. So.
Oh. Yeah, I should have actually shown you Sarah Nurse. She wore the most amazing outfit for her.
Oh,
first
really?
walk on. Oh, yeah. And it was cool because on her Instagram, she went to Holt Renfrew and she tried on about 4 different outfits. And then she said, see which one I'm going to wear by watching the walk-in.
That's amazing.
So, and I thought, choose that suit. And she did choose the suit. So I was like, yes. Okay, next we have Devin Cooley.
Oh yeah, this Devin Cooley, he's on the Flames as a goalie. I was just gonna round out and say, was one of the young players, he was quoted as saying, how do you deal with nerves? And he says, I have to remind myself that nobody cares about me, and whatever happens will be fine, basically. I'm paraphrasing.
Is he the guy that said we all just die someday or something?
No,
okay.
it was just like nobody cares, it'll be fine, because he's a goalie, so I guess there's a lot of pressure on you.
So is he's the backup goalie then?
I'm not too sure. I just saw him today. So you guys, the real thing was I was going through all the Flames outfits and they still look very, very nice. What's it called? Michael Backlund is still wearing 3-piece suits. Like people, so I saw one guy wearing a crew neck one time, but like the sweaters are generally knitted. But I like this one because it's like that middle casual, and he's wearing like black running shoes as opposed to black shoes. So I thought this was a nice way to pull together the casual.
He looks very tall though.
He's tall?
Is he?
I don't know. How do you know?
Well, he just looks very like lanky to me in this photo. Like his
He
legs,
looks lengthy.
he's got legs go on for
that about me.
miles. Well, most of the goalies are pretty tall. So
yeah. So I'm pretty proud of the team. I didn't go and like research the other teams like I did last month, but I think the Flames are doing well, and they're still being sponsored. You can see at the bottom there by Sentinel Storage. So it's nothing to do with clothes, but they have money.
Oh, that's great. Store your extra clothes with us.
It's kind of it's funny because I think in either in Vancouver and Winnipeg, it's like Mondetta, like actual clothing.
Yeah, I can't remember who did ours. Okay, Kelly, who have you got? Oh, Kelly, your sound is off.
forever.
Technical difficulties. Can you unmute yourself? She
Press your
just called him
space,
a 10.
press your space bar.
Okay.
No?
All right.
Aw.
Okay. Well, it's 6
Okay.
o'clock. We'll report back later on. I don't even, does anyone know who Kelly's player is? He looks great. He's in a suit. We're happy that he's
Very-
wearing a suit.
It's a very slim line. It's a very like slim fitting suit.
I like
and
the
it's-
brown. It's nice.
Yeah. The bright tie too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's nice. He's a nice double-breasted jacket and a
Yeah.
brown tweed over a black pant, and he's got a nice loafer with that. This totally reminds me. Once I had a job, and we were doing a fashion show, and they at the very last second they said to me, "You have to do commentary," and this is what it was like. Oh, he's wearing a brown jacket and black. So that was pretty awful.
Oh, no.
All right, now we are going to wrap up now because it's actually after 6 o'clock, but we do want to talk about book news. And Stacy has a new book coming out in January. She just revealed the cover, I think. But no, I don't know how we're going to show the cover. Can you just show us the cover with your on your
Yes, I can do that. I can absolutely show the cover on my phone. As I'm doing that, it is the last story in my Last Girl Standing series. It's a Wedding in Trouble series. It's a road trip. The joke sort of tagline is "Save the Knish, Save the Wedding."
Oh.
It's called The Kosher Conundrum.
Mhm.
And it comes out on January 14th.
Okay.
Two friends team up to save a family, but save the takeover of a family business and a wedding.
Oh, sounds good. Great.
It's about terrible mentors and how you pick yourself up from a situation where your horrible mentor has left you high and dry, and the power of friendship and family. So,
Okay.
and love.
Kelly, can you talk now?
Yeah, I can. I'm back. Sorry. I got all flustered. My son came in and I muted things. And then when I tried to unmute, my whole Zoom froze up. So sorry.
So who was that player?
His name is Thomas Millick. He is also a goalie. He is the Jets' new backup goalie since Hellebuck is out for a while. 22 years old. I thought his suit looked very, very sharp. Just quickly, one of the things I've noticed is that the Jets are dressing a lot more casually when they're on the road, but almost all of them had suits on for the home game walk-in the other night. So,
Oh, that's great. I wish
Yeah.
there's next were doing that.
so I'm kind of excited to see him play. I don't know if he'll actually get a shot, but it would be cool.
Do that. Okay, great. Yeah. So maybe Stacy, you can throw a link up into the comments for your new book.
Okay, so hold on. Sorry about that. Let me find. There we go. Can I share my screen somehow?
Do you want to?
I mean, well, the book is in the chat, and the cover is in the Zoom chat.
Oh, the
So,
chat.
yeah, the Zoom chat.
Okay, I'm gonna share it.
Okay.
Thank you.
There it is. There.
Great.
Thank
Oh,
you.
well done.
That's cute.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
Very cute. Who did that? Who
there's
did
the
that cover,
wedding.
Stacy?
What?
Do you want to give a
So-
shout out to the cover artist?
I'm not sure who did the cover. The book is published by Thule, so Lee
That's really
Hyatt
cute.
got the cover artist and organized it all. It is basically we have the most organized wedding planner on the planet and a chef who's kind of meandering all over the place trying to figure out his life choices. And it very much catches the two of them in just the most perfect way as they try to salvage the transfer of his family business to his brother and her cousin's wedding to his best friend.
Hmm.
So,
Beautiful.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Great. So yeah, so if you do have a pre-order link, maybe you can just put it up in the comments.
yes.
Of the YouTube on
Yeah.
YouTube, you mean?
I
Yeah.
would do
The
that.
YouTube comments, yeah, since we're having Well, I'm having trouble getting into the account to do that. So this wraps it up for today. Oh, sorry, Kelly, Fortune, do you have any book news?
I have no book news,
Okay.
official book news.
Okay, great. Well, I guess we'll be back maybe on the 21st of December. I don't know. I guess we'll discuss that amongst ourselves to see if we're busy and what's
Okay.
going on. But we'll be back in December at some point. And
Okay.
until then, happy reading, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Okay.